Hello, everybody. Hi, it's Rob at Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Wanted to get that on the screen right away. So, people, today is my 1 year anniversary of being on YouTube on Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. And, of course, I want to start this off showing you some Allen Ginter because I'm an Allen Ginter collector. So I figured I'd show you guys those cards real quick. So hey everybody, thanks for joining me. I'm Rob. This is Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. And my 1 year anniversary today. 188 subscribers. So thank you everybody who's subscribed and watched my channel. And all the people who've commented. I'll get to doing some shout outs here in a bit. So thank you for joining me. So we're going to do something a little different today to start off my first episode for the second year. So I'm going to do something that today that's more in line with what most of the people on the YouTube community who are collectors and video content makers and stuff like that. I'm going to do a little vintage for you people. But it's gonna be a little trashy, people, so beware that we're gonna do something trashy today. So I got my Cubbies hat on, even though we got eliminated yesterday. I got my Tool shirt on. So alright, so hey, a few things I want to point out. So watched Mangini today and talk about a boss level just, like playing a video game like Super Mario or something like that. Just boss level stuff. He showed his cards, the story of baseball cards. I mean, just unbelievable some of the stuff he has. He has the Cap Anson from the original Allen Ginter set. That's like one of my Grail cards. He's got Ty Cobb's left and right. Which my other Grail cards. He's got Cracker Jack cards. Some of my other Grail cards. Just epic stuff, John. I mean, I know other guys got some stuff like you, but dude, you're boss level. You're like Bowser or whatever on Super Mario. Just hard to beat. And yeah, jealous. You got some cool stuff, dude. Yeah, I would love the Cap Anson, any playing days Ty Cobb, and a Cracker Jack. Those are my main kind of things that I would like to get. Allen Ginter baseball card from the original set, but the Cap Anson, that's epic. And of course love Ty Cobb. Alright, so figured I'd show my face on the first video. Sorry people. So alright, and like I said, wanted to show Allen Ginter right off the bat because that's what I'm into. I didn't reach my goal of 200 subscribers in 1 year. Not that that was my goal at the beginning or anything. I actually was kind of making fun of asking for subscribers and likes and all that kind of stuff when I first started for like the first couple months. But then I figured, well, I was only getting 6 or 7 views, so it's less about vanity thing. I just want to show my cards. That's why it's mostly a hand model. I got a bunch of cards to show, but of course I want people to see them. And that's kind of why I started this show. I know a lot of people do graded and vintage stuff, which is normally not my lane, I guess. Not that it can't be, it's just that's less of what I'm into. I'm more into like old style cards for modern players, and like Allen Ginter and Goodwin Champions and all that we talked about in the last few episodes. And I like pre-war, and then like obviously like product issue or oddballs most people would call them. Then I like pre-war and stuff from my days, 70s, 80s up till now. And then I go into vintage kind of stuff. So that's why I first started this channel, because I wasn't seeing the kind of stuff that I collect on there. So needless to say, to begin this new year off at 188 subscribers, so maybe when I get to 200, then I might do some kind of contest like a VR, but you might want to keep your eyes peeled. I might have something a little tricky up my sleeve, my first contest. You know, kind of a placeholder, I guess, for doing something in honor of this anniversary. But I'll think about that today while I'm at work. I'll probably do a second episode to this one. But it is technically Minor League Monday. It's like 1 in the morning, 1:10 in the morning when I started this video. So I'll probably do the sister episode to this. But so I just wanted to say thank you all the people who've watched and subscribed, and I hope you enjoy my stuff. Sorry I talk slow. Please change the setting to 1.25, then I sound kind of normal, or 1.5. Voice is a little tired right now. I don't know if I'll be able to go back to sleep. Yeah, I was up late last night, slept in part of the day today, and got to go back to work. So hopefully I'll be able to go to sleep after doing this. But let's get to it, people. I'm going to go ahead and pause you, and let's see what we got here, okay? Alright, people, I'm just going to do my shout outs real quick for people watching my last few episodes. Check them out. Those are my favorite cards that I got over the last year since starting this channel. But Reggie Loves Cardboard commented a few times. Thank you. Christopher Huffer, Perch 0007, Commenting Collector, and Sports Card Detour, and Perch again, Wax Nostalgic. Thank you, Perch, for subscribing. Christopher Huffer, Commenting Collector, Kirk Kohler, and back to Peter B there. So thank you all you guys for posting comments and stuff. I really do appreciate it. And now let's get to it. I'm going to turn you around, okay, people? Alright. Alright, once again, thank you for watching Old Style Classics Baseball Cards. Send people my way if you think they would like to subscribe. Alright, people. So, just really quick. So yesterday I did pick this up. And the reason I'm showing that, A-Rod card from 2006 Allen Ginter with the little off font there, and that is because that is one of the original Topps Allen Ginter cards. They printed months before regular 2006 Allen Ginter came out. So this was a promo that they did for the Hawaii Trade Conference in February and March, and these didn't come out till August that same year. So these were the very first Topps Allen Ginter's cards ever printed, was for this Hawaii Trade Conference. So they are a little bit different, it's just slightly, but I picked that up. And then of course this was my Grail card for the last 19 years. This is the 2006 Danica Patrick card, 19 years. And I picked one up this year. Alright, folks. But since it is technically Minor League Monday, I got a few minor league cards to show you. So we'll be sticking with the minor league slightly on this episode. There's a connection with this and what I'm going to show you. So you can take a look at old, what is that, Mitt for Vernon there on an Obak. So 1910 or 11 there on that one. And then we got this one, pretty beat up. Can't even make out his name. Alright, that is another Obak. And that one obviously came out of a scrapbook there. It looks like it's got a bunch of, seems to be the same as this year. Seems to, it looks like mold or something, but it's not. It's like glue. That's super cool. And, what does this guy play for? It's hard to tell. Alright. That's a pretty beat up card. And then, of course, this guy from Portland, Jay Ryan. He's got a punch out right there in his face. Portland. Same thing, Obak. So these are minor league cards for the PCL. I believe it's either 1910 or 1911 on this design, because they started in 1909. But these are all PCL, so technically those are minor league cards to go along with Minor League Monday. But what's the connection between this and what I'm planning on doing today? Well, you can see these cards are really damaged, pretty trashy, and I love them. And so I have a story for you people. So when I was a kid, I'm probably around anywhere from 85 to 87, in our den we used to have a antique cabinet. And in the antique cabinet, my dad and my grandpa used to like put in tanks like at gas stations and stuff like that back in Chicago. And they used to dig up all kinds of junk and old bottles, you know, from like the 1800s and all kinds of antiques. And my dad saved antiques and all this kind of stuff. And I started getting into baseball cards, let's say 86-ish, you know, mid 80s. I mean, I would collect the ones that came in cereal and stuff before that. But 86, I believe, is when I first started buying like packs of cards like Topps and all that, after visiting my cousins in Chicago. So then I started getting really into it, and that's when I would study stuff like these tobacco minis and all that kind of stuff. And so then I started digging through the antique cabinet, thinking, because I do have a Ty Cobb thing that I did find out in our shed, so that inspired me to go look for any kind of old kind of cards and stuff like that. So I dig around that antique cabinet, big glass cabinet with wood frame, and one time I was leaning on the glass on the top of it and shattered the whole thing, and it broke in there. Never said anything, didn't take the blame for it, but nevertheless I did find a box that had some cards, but obviously not old card. I mean, not like these, not from the early 1900s, something my dad would have got. These are cards that my brothers would have got in the 60s, and lo and behold, here is some. I mean, some of them are okay, but a lot of them are trash, people. And I've been waiting a year to show you guys some of these trashy cards. So I'm going to start off with the looks like 1967 Detroit Tigers Topps team card, and you'll be getting a theme here, so don't touch my willy here. So, and apparently I'm gonna assume it wasn't my sister. One of my brothers did this to some of the cards that were in that box. So obviously we're from Chicago, so they're obviously not Tigers fans there. So sorry, Tiger collector and all that. I don't know which brother did it. I asked my brother Kevin, and he was like, "Oh, I don't know. Maybe I did that. Sorry, Bobby." And I was like, "Dude, it's okay. It's just funny." So, but I kept them. All right. So, what does that have to do with these? That these are some trashy cards that I'm going to show you folks. So that's the one, 1967. But my favorite set out of the 60s is the 68. And so let's show you some of the cards that we got. You know, they were already kind of in rough shape, but still, it's cool, you know, especially in the mid 80s when you're dreaming about Hannes Wagner and Ty Cobb cards and all these things that could be worth a lot of money, even back then. And then you find some, and then you find out what happened to them. Took a drink, people. All right. And so apparently whichever brother couldn't spell dummy wrote on these cards, "I am a dummy," with one M. So at least they didn't put I''M. So "I am a dummy," Bernie Allen for the Senators. So, and there you go, folks. Frank Kwilicki Number 557 there. So I don't know. I would assume it would have to be my brother George or Kevin. I could see my brother Kevin maybe having done this, but it could have been George. But George was a little older. He was probably in his mid to late teens by that point in time. But it could have been any of them. It wasn't me. I don't remember doing this, so he's a dummy too, apparently. Frank, with the cool Twins logo hat there. So Frank Kwilicki. So how do you like it, people? This is, I'm giving you guys who are in the community right now, which don't like really saying it. I don't know why that kind of triggers me a little bit. But all the folks on, most of the people on YouTube who do videos are into this kind of era of cards. So I'm going to start the year off showing those kind of cards. Now I know this is on the later end of that collecting stuff, but when we get to the non messed up cards, the less trashy cards, we'll get into some stuff that's more during the stuff that other guys collect. And I like this stuff. It's just yeah, I like other stuff that I want to focus my collecting on, I guess is probably the best way to put it. Where I would rather put my money, I suppose, would be towards a Ty Cobb rather than a Ted Williams or Joe DiMaggio or stuff like that. I'd rather get the Ty Cobb or the Allen Ginter from way back then, or my PC Andre Dawson. Oh, I didn't even pull Dawson out, so maybe we'll have to do that. So John Edwards. So is that the same John Edwards that ran for president? I don't think so, but he's a dummy, according to one of my brothers or siblings. Maybe that's a better way to put it. Now, as a kid, now this had to be like I said, mid to late 80s when I found these. And if you remember back in those days, they had erasable pins. So I thought, oh, maybe they had erasable pins back then. So I took one of those Eraser Mate pins and tried to erase the I Am a Dummy off of some of these, but it didn't work. I mean, it sort of worked, but it mostly just takes the ink right off. So John Edwards, obviously a Cardinal, so one of my brothers obviously didn't like that. Alright, people, here we go. Tommy Harper, he didn't escape becoming a trashy card. So, oh yeah, shout out to commenting collector Rob. We talked about, I mean, I didn't reveal to him anything specific other than during his trashy card contest. I said I have some trashy cards that I want to show, but I'm going to save them for an episode, and this is that episode, folks. So here you go, commenting collector Rob. This is, we're going to throw an honorary for you into this video, even though I was planning on doing this for a long time. So Tommy Harper there for Cleveland. There you go. Not only is he dummy, but he looks like he's wearing earrings or something. Or no, I guess something's coming out of his nose, like snot or something like that. So Tommy Harper did not escape. Now, they're not the best shape cards, but not horrible either. They're not all folded over. So sorry, Tommy. I don't think any of my brothers were White Sox fans, but maybe George or Kevin, maybe George might have liked the White Sox a little bit. I don't know. We weren't super close, yeah, because he was almost twice my age. So maybe he liked the White Sox and didn't like any of the teams that the White Sox didn't like. All right, folks. There was no Angels in the outfielder for these guys, the rookie stars no less. Card 328, Chuck Visden and Jim Weaver, pitcher. And first baseman, pretty off-centered there, but they didn't survive. Got an airbrushed hat there. I am a dummy. And Jim Weaver, I am a dummy with the California Angels hat. So, well, that's too bad. Unless somebody is just looking for a placeholder in their collection. I guess that card is altered, perhaps? Authentically altered. So, alright. And now some of these all-star cards didn't survive either. Number 377 there. But I guess it would still be good for the puzzle piece back there. And that people would be Joe Horlin, pitcher for the White Sox. So apparently, there you go. There's some proof. The White Sox didn't even survive. So apparently they didn't like the White Sox either. So that's a pretty good one. I'm glad they did that there. Just kidding, people. But there's Sporting News All-Star Selection. I like that White Sox version of the hat too. That's pretty cool. This logo. So, but not a White Sox fan. Sorry, Shaka's Closet. And there you go. White Sox did not make it. All right. Then of course, St. Louis Cardinals going to take a hit. So pitcher Ray Washburn. I hope that's not a super rare card. I don't think so. 388. But maybe that old other one was a high number. Ray Washburn, St. Louis. I am a dummy. A dummy I am. No, maybe they meant to write it that way. So for Ray Washburn, people, he did not make it through the youth of one of my siblings. Alright. Bob Pretty. Yep, another White Sox, people. So I guess it's good for a display, you know, for the back of the card. A little cartoon there. Comic. I am a dummy. Bob Pretty. I guess they tried to make him prettier. So, oh boy. Alright, folks. Hope you're enjoying this. I've been waiting since the 80s to show these to somebody. I don't think I've ever showed them to anybody. Maybe my mom or something once. But Grady Hatton, Houston manager, did not make it. The back's good. But I am a dummy. Grady Hatton. The airbrush hat. So that maybe that meant they were going from Colt 45s to the Astros at that point. I don't know. Alright, people. Camilo Pascual did not make it, people. Camille, you didn't make it. Alright, so here's a little trivia down there. Where was the first All-Star game played? Comiskey Park there. Washington Senator pitcher. There's another one I tried to erase. But that's how it worked out. Alright, everybody. Alright. And in honor of the local Oakland A's, going to be playing their last games of the year forever in Oakland as of right now. I mean, I guess never say never, like the James Bond movie. But Renee Lakeman, this is kind of how the A's fans feel. Of course, they want to blame it on the owner, but it's kind of their own fault for the kind of people they vote into Oakland and how Oakland's just become a war zone. Why would anyone want to stay? They should have gotten them a new stadium 25 years ago when they needed one. So I'm not surprised Oakland's leaving. I wouldn't stay if I owned them. There's nowhere in Oakland I would probably want to build a stadium. So Renee, sorry Oakland A's fans. Maybe they should have let him move down to Fremont. But Renee, he didn't make it because he was a dummy, I guess. Alright, so I guess that's how it feels to be Oakland right now, just damaged. Not saying they're dummies, I'm just saying that they feel like a ruined card. I mean, that card's in pretty good shape, but yep. Alright. Alright, people, well, I don't know, maybe, I don't know how this happened, but unless he didn't like this guy, but John Bochabella, first base catcher for the Chicago Cubs, did not even survive, people. One of my own Cubbies, you know, I don't know, maybe he got it from some other kid that didn't like them. I wish I knew the story, but that brother's dead. The other brother I asked about didn't know anything about it, other than, oh, sorry if I did that. But you know how kids are. Maybe they're like 6 years old, and they're like, haha, I'm gonna ruin his cards. They don't really care about baseball or anything. So the Cubby didn't even make it because he's a dummy. The little old Cubby logo there. Wrigley Field in the background. But John did not survive. Alright, folks, and now those are all, you know, a sad state of affairs, you know, but no major hits that we can't survive, right? Well, yep, you probably know where I'm going here, folks. Card 530, Bird Belters. Yep, people, that's what it says right there on the card. Frank Robinson and Brooks Robinson. The Robinson boys will never forget the exciting 1966 pennant race. Well, I guess it was forgettable for one of my siblings because even these two Hall of Famers did not survive, people. That is super sad. Now that's a good card gone to waste, but maybe I should get it graded just as a gag. So it's I guess it's a what do you call it, one of those stories you can learn from. Don't let kids near your cards. Frank Robinson and Brooks Robinson took the hit, people. And it gets worse, people. It even gets worse. So is anyone familiar with this card? Card number 370 from the 68 set of Topps. Well, if you're familiar with these are all-star cards. And card 370, this is a huge loss for the collecting world. Hank Aaron didn't even survive, folks. Great Hank Aaron on the all-star card. And not only as he wrote all over, which I tried to erase this because I knew that was a good card, but it looks like that card was one that was perhaps folded in half and used on bike spokes or something. So got a couple Hall of Famers that did not survive the wrath of youth, of some youth, and like these cards did not survive the wrath of history. And hang on one second, people. Alright, people, sorry about that. Well, one of my lights went out here, so I can't get it to work. But I don't want to end this first episode of the year without showing this here Andre Dawson 87 Topps Traded, which is my favorite baseball card from my lifetime. So obviously I like other cards like Ty Cobb and the Cap Hansen. That's from before my time, but my favorite baseball card during my life of watching baseball was this one, which is the first Andre Dawson Topps card on the Cubs. But I do also really love the upper deck ones, like the highlights and the opening day, his first ones on the Cubs on those 87 designs. Those are awesome, as well as the flare for the 87 update. So those are super cool. But this is the one I've always liked. for him as a Cub, along with his 1984 Roston Perina serial card. Would be my two favorite Andre Dawsons from when he played. Second year cards, pretty cool too. But I wanted to show this is because that's one of my favorites, along with the Danica Patrick. So those are my two PC people, so you might want to keep that in mind if I decide to do anything. My Grail Card, Danica Patrick, she's my number 2 personal collection for cards, and then of course Andre Dawson is my number 1 player for personal collection and baseball. So there we go, people. So I just wanted to get a Dawson in there, and so I just wanted to start you guys off, your other YouTubers, just to give them something that I've been putting off for a year, something that more people are into collecting, which vintage, you know. And so like this here Mickey Mantle card, we'll be getting into some more vintage on the next episode. Alright, so once again, thanks for joining me on this first episode of year number 2 on Old Style Classics baseball cards, the original Topps Allen Ginter, Mickey Mantle, some Minor League Monday stuff, and some real trashy vintage cards, people. Thanks for joining me, and maybe we'll see you later tonight. Thanks, everybody.